Hi, in this video I'm going to demonstrate the watch lists and show you how they can add some flexibility to your analysis and how you can use them to look at different groupings or stock groupings or ETF groupings at any time during the day and change them as often as you want. But what I've done is I've added the four major indexes to the core list and some asset classes to the specials list. But the way you change things in the watch list is that you save lists of text files of different symbols, and then you just copy and paste them into the different lists. And there's no practical limit, or there's no actual limit to the number of symbols that you could have in a list. I mean, there's a practical limit because naturally the more symbols, the more download time is involved in processing time. So there are practical limits, but there's no built-in limit to the number of symbols you can use. And in this chart, we have the QQQ up, and we're looking at it. And the whole purpose of the market location page is for you to look at this page, glance through it, and get an impression about whether or not this is a symbol that you would want to look at further. Is this something that I would want to be looking at for a long trade or a short trade, or is it something I should be avoiding and waiting on? And we give a lot of different views. One of them is a candlestick trader, and it's just standard candlesticks in an 8-period EMA. But there's an interesting candle here at the bottom that happened on Friday in the QQQ, and if we right-click, we can do a candle scan, and we can scan that ticker only. And interestingly, we can see that the QQQ has a Morningstar best friend setup, and that consists of a gap down and a doji. So the QQQ could be interesting to watch. But if you wanted to scan the whole core watch list, you would check off the core and hit scan list, and then it will scan all the stocks on the list and give you all the signals that occurred. And you can scan for either bullish signals or bearish signals, and there are no bearish signals in the list. So you can scan all of the three lists that you can input, or the oversold and overbought list, which are populated automatically based on different criteria for different scans that you choose. But the OBOS is populated automatically. The core, the specials, and the watch list you're in complete control of, and you just copy and paste lists of symbols. But the things I wanted to show you that are new that we just put in to increase your market awareness are a few chart groupings. And the one grouping that we call Market Aware shows the same symbols each time, but there's the SPY, the Russell 2000, and the Qs. We have commodities, volatility, bonds, the dollar, gold, the gold ETF, and U.S. oil, the oil ETF. And these will update during the day if you wanted to see it. But this is something you should be looking at before the market opens in the morning. And you get a good impression of what the different asset classes are doing. And these are presented in Heikin Ashi format against the Ichimoku cloud. And even if you don't know what either one of those things mean, you can see at a glance what the tendency or what the trend is of the ticker you're looking at. For example, USO, the oil ETF, has been in a severe downtrend, but it's against a backdrop of a rising cloud. So maybe there'll be an opportunity coming up there. We can see that bonds looks like they're making a bottom or a basing pattern against a generally down-drifting cloud. I don't want to get too much into the cloud or the Heikin Ashi, but this is a very good and easy to analyze method of looking at lots of different stocks and getting an impression of where they're heading. The other stock score chart I want to look at is the S&P 500 sectors. And this chart will give you the 9 sectors in the S&P 500. And the way they're set up generally is that the aggressive sectors are on the left side of the chart, and the passive or safe or conservative sectors are in the right side, on the right side of the chart. But again, with the Heikin Ashi and the cloud backdrop, you can see at a glance which sectors are performing the best. And things like healthcare has been in a very steep downtrend for the whole period of the chart. Financials have been holding up fairly well, and materials kind of going sideways. But again, this is to increase your market awareness so that if you are going to be trading for the day, you at least have a backdrop of the different sectors, and it adds a little more knowledge to how the individual stocks or ETFs you're looking at may perform. And the third one I'm going to look at is the stock scores. And stock scores scans all of the stocks in the 3 watch lists and gives them a score. Now, each of these columns is sortable, so we can sort on scores. And a 0 score is neutral, positive scores are bullish, negative scores are bearish. Now, these are absolute scores or raw scores. They're not relative to anything. They're based on a rate of change over a 6-month period. The 50 and 100 moving averages are the base moving averages, but the direction they're heading in, the price relative to it. And the whole purpose is just to derive an objective number that you can use to rank, in your mind at least, the bullishness or bearishness of a symbol. The next column, relative 1% return, shows how this ticker performed relative to a theoretical investment that returned a 1% annualized return. And if we rank these high to low, we can see that the QQQ has performed 15 times better than a 1% return, or 15%. And we can see that BNQ, the real estate ETF, has returned an 18% negative return over that period. And oil not far behind. But this is a good way to look at absolute raw strength relative to a positive or negative return. I know there are other ranking systems, but they're all relative. So bonds can be performing better relative to stocks, but if they're both going down, they're both losers. This gives you the raw score. The trend filter and the CCI status just give you a state or condition perspective. These aren't trading signals, but we can see that gold is in a bear trend, but in an overbought state. So that might be something you'd want to be looking at for a possible short trade. And we can see that USO, which has a terrible raw score, is still maintaining a bullish trend and is in an oversold condition, which puts it in a bullish posture, and that might be something you'd want to add to a watch list to keep your eye on in the future. So we just put a few symbols in. If you have your watch list filled up with dozens or more symbols, it can take a little bit of time to process because you've got to download and process all that information. But this all gives you a look at the symbols that you're interested in trading, and helps you to develop a thought process, a sense impression for the different symbols that you'd want to be looking at more closely for a possible trade. All right, there's tons of other features that we really can't go into at the moment in Option Master Chartist, Stock Master Chartist, but I wanted to show you these few. I hope this has been useful to you.